Good evening. This is the New Jersey Mycological Association's Taxonomy Tuesday. I'm the host tonight. My name is Sue. And we have people ready to show the fungi they found recently. If anybody has any fungi that they want to show, if they just type their name into the chat, we'll call you in order and then we'll go to the emails.
An addition one from last week.
Okay. So I guess you might as well go first, Chris.
I'm on an actual computer. You got to give me a second here.
Okay.
Is it doing it?
Yes.
All
Usually it's
right.
an unknown, though. I'm surprised that you're just completely unknown.
Wow. Last week I said I had gone fishing and this thing was just right on the sand.
Oh, I do remember it from last week. Yes.
So I took a look just before. Oh, is that it? And it had some spores like this. The thought that it was maybe a Inocybe suggested by Brandon and Dave.
Yeah, family Inocybaceae. So if you got any pictures of things on the gills, that would help narrow it down, maybe.
It was pretty dry. I still have the slide. It's still soaking in. I might have to revisit it, but these are the
Those
spores I got.
I mean, those don't look Inocybaceae to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even for
Some of the I think Anosperma have spores that they're sort of like this.
like bullet shaped kind of.
Yeah, the bullet shape is a little weird. I'm gonna look through my photos. I'll be back.
Yeah, some of them seemed a little more, that seed-like or whatever, but for the most part, you know, they were kind of like that, kind of long.
And is this from a drop or just from smash mount?
Just from a piece of gill that I pulled out. It was pretty dried up. I had to find what an actual gill was. But yeah, I thought it looked a little strange for that. I was expecting something different. Well, it was pretty anyway to find. That's all I had going on.
So we conclude it's still an Inocybe.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at some spores and stuff from other ones, I guess. Try to see if I can't find anything that looks similar.
Well, if anything, that rules out Inocybe, those spores, right, Sue? So what we were saying is we were thinking family Inocybaceae. I think Inocybe proper, if I'm remembering correctly, have the nodulospores.
I don't know enough about spores myself. So.
Yeah, not all species of Inocybe have nodulous spores. Some have ellipsoid or bean-shaped spores. You have to try to find pleural cystidia. if you find pleurocystidia, and usually they're pretty easy to distinguish from the Chyloscystidia, if Chyloscystidia are present. The pleurocystidia are usually have thick walls and a lot of times ornamented apex. Then you know you have Inocybe sensu stricta, the real Inocybes. Sperma, pseudosperma, and Malocybe are 3 genera in family Inocybaceae that are found in this part of North America. Now, just looking through some photos, I haven't found anything yet with spores quite like Chris's, but I'm gonna look through my photos because I have a feeling there's something there. But I'll get back.
Well, I'd like to think there should be an app for this.
Some Lepiotas look like they have bullet-shaped spores, but I didn't think the picture looked like one at all. Can you bring your picture up again, Chris? If we're not moving on.
Any further thoughts, or are you just muted?
I'm still thinking.
Well, I can't find any photos of mine with spores that look quite like that. Actually, I'm sorry. I'll be back. I'm going to look at one more thing. Something just occurred to me because these actually look a little bit like Inocybe subocratia, a true Inocybe. So let me just check out that.
What are the spores like on your original lean, which was the Lacrimaria or
Oh, they're not like that at all.
okay. Oh. Yeah, I could see why you thought it was that though, otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, and usually those I find in like that extra wet, damp grass that gets, a
Yeah.
little bit of sprinkler ends, but yeah, this one was just so weird on the sand like that. There's got to be something interesting there, and certainly it is because I have no idea what it is.
Okay, Sue.
All right, you got something to share, Brandon?
I do, but
Oh.
I can go whatever, later
Yeah, no
on.
one else has put anything in the chat.
Oh, I was just saying, let's go ahead and move on.
Yes, yeah, I figured that too.
You want me to go then?
Yes, please.
All right.
Might as well see what happened down in South Jersey.
Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
All right. So this was a new slime mold for me. I don't think I'd ever found anything in Cribaria before, and I will mispronounce this name as Cribaria at some point. There's a R in there that feels unnatural.
Cribaria.
What is it? Cribaria?
Cribaria. Yeah.
Cribaria. Yeah, like I said, I will mispronounce that if I keep saying it.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree that's what it is because I can see the nodes.
The nodes, right? These nodes here.
On the net, yes.
And what's this part called? Is this the peridium, or is this a different name?
The peridium is the whole outside skin, and that's and it loses most of it except for it's like a net-like with the nodes in the middle, and it has this part on the bottom there that stays. I don't know for sure what species it would be.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that you can see that kind of striate part, it's hard to say what's the underside on these things because they kind of the stalks kind of gnarl around and point all which direction.
Right.
But that striate portion of it.
There's a word for it that I can't remember right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like I'm sure there is a specific word, but I did get spores out of it, and there are a couple things that look. I was checking out a couple species names for this one, and I was reading about how some of the spores are obviously there are different varying levels of warding and ornamentation and things like that, but then some of them have something called inclusions, which
that's inside. But what's more important is if you could blow the spores out and just look at the net and the nodes, that would tell you a lot more.
Cool. That's a good, okay. Yeah. Because I'm going to share something next that I put a name to. I think it's the common one. And then this is that, other thing that we can't kind of remember the name for. I made sure to get a little bit of that material just to see what that looked like. Because I think not only this, but also the peridium, you need to look to see if there's granules and kind of how those connections look under the scope, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And I could tell the photo didn't come out great, but these are granular.
Yeah, it's like piled up granules at the nodes. Yes.
At the nodes, right. So there were a couple things that I looked at. Oh, and then this photo is something different. I think, because it's much smaller, is pretty much all I'm basing that off of. And if you can see these little white things, which I don't know what the heck they are either.
I don't know.
I have no idea what they are. I've been seeing them under the stereoscope recently. I should probably scope some material there. But you can see those out of focus in the background here. So this is also under the stereoscope, both of the last photo and this photo as well. And you can see this is much, much bigger. So I don't know, maybe this is just, I don't know what that is, but I thought it was cool.
And Cribarius can be difficult.
Yep, I'm seeing that. So let's look at this other one while we're on the subject that I found today. And I haven't had time to look at the spores, but I'm calling this one cancellata only because I can actually make out that.
Oh yes, you're correct. When you can see those lines, that's Cribaria cancellata.
Awesome. And then even more, because on this one I'm more focused on this. On this photograph, I'm kind of more focused on this one, just showing that there's what do they call them, like meridian lines, right? Similar.
That is so cool.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then this one is focused on one in the back, and you can make out that there's interconnections going on
right. Yeah.
between those striations.
Right.
How big we talking here?
Yeah, the spores inside kind of shrink up into like a spore ball.
Oh, is that what's happening there? So,
Right.
so
So
like,
that's why it's easier to see
yeah,
those lines.
cool. So like, this is probably a spore ball kind of right here.
It could be, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't say for sure.
Okay, cool. Nice, thank you. I'm zoomed so far in. I've found so many things. I should have made a list. So I found this Ascomycete today, and I put a name to it. It's kind of tentative, although I found the name first, and then I checked the micro, and it looks pretty good. That name, let's get back to it. Chlorencoelia torta. There's two of them, and you have to do the micro to distinguish. These are not the smallest little cups that I look at often. These are, approaching a centimeter. A couple of them were a little over a centimeter, so not super, super tiny. You can see, I didn't check. They're probably related to Pisiza in some way. They have that kind of wrinkled look on the interior, kind of like sunken, some of them. You can see there, maybe immaturity. But the big thing here is that they have feet. So they're stipitate, and very clearly stipitate, not like, has that got a little foot on it? No, they have feet. And the one in maturity over here, dang, photo didn't make it out that well, but that foot is wrinkled a little bit. Yeah, there you go. And they're pretty small. But this is probably the best photo for color, even though it's a little blurry. They were orange, and then the more mature ones had a bit of a olive hue, which matches up perfectly with the Micro-Quebec description. And then the way to distinguish between the two species, one of them has smaller bigutulate spores, and I think we can pretty clearly see these are bigutulate. So, those two little oil drops in each one of the spores. Where are my notes at? I'll give the measurements in a second. Yeah, bigutulate. And the other way to tell between the two is the terminal cells on the sterile side, so the underside of that cup. How do those cells end? Do they end kind of rounded like this, or are they more, kind of straight? So based on all of that, even doing that quick little bit of research, I feel pretty good about the name here. And this was kind of rushed, like I said. Can't really make out the perfect paraphyses and the asci. Everything's highline on these things, so kind of tough to do. But there wasn't much information to be derived from that anyway. So I don't know. Has anyone ever heard this genus, heard of this genus, or found this thing?
Yes. Yeah, I have. I don't know which one I found. I think mine were a little more yellow. I remember. I'm gonna look at my folders right now and see if I made one for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I think mine was under a log that I rolled. Did you roll that or
Actually, no.
no?
I roll a lot of logs, but this one was right on top.
Yeah. Okay. And mine actually, it may have been. I found that there's two different ones that two different times I found tiny cups like that, but one of them had, I think here we put that name on it. But I'm gonna look, see if I can find it. But they're nice to see. I mean, I like those tiny little cups are so cool. And those slime molds that you found, I mean, those were those you were just like staring at a tree or something. You just sit there and wait for them to appear, or
So that is not too far off. I mean, those Cribaria, and like I've been finding Fusarium and all kinds of cool stuff. But they're just really small. So if I'm down here, have my eye on a little disco like this that's brightly colored, and then you start expanding your examination of that rotting log, you'd be surprised how many things you find just all kind of hanging out together, tiny little lichen and discomyces and slime molds and all that. Yeah.
I really need to spend more time doing that. And are you yeah, so you're not using any magnification to even find the stuff at all? Just not really.
No.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
Good, you got good eyes and they work. And
my eyes do work for the time being. So
yeah, I feel like I would miss a lot, but it's really great you're seeing all these things. And I wanted to ask, I did find mine, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. Mine was much more yellow, and I did label it what you labeled yours. And so mine may be wrong, but I think we did it here. But I just put it in the chat.
well, these things are pretty
Yellow.
yellow, brown, orange. They go green pretty quick. Let's take a look. No, cup apathesia, globus, minifor, matte yellow, olive green, mustard yellow when cool, brownish. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I think these are the same. It's kind of hard to tell because I can't see that stiff tape feature.
Wait, maybe that was
on
for
my
the other one.
pictures.
I have an observation on Mushroom Observer that I called C. torta, but it could be the other one that you're talking about, Brandon.
So
because-
that description on color, I was actually mistaken. I was on versiformis when I read that. So if we go back to torta, dark orange, then spotted with olive, and eventually dark brown. So
So maybe mine is something different. Mine is pretty yellow.
maybe it's this versiformis.
Yeah, okay, got it. So this, yeah, versiformis. Okay, yeah, it's looking so. Okay, more so. But yeah, okay, cool.
And then again, on just to kind of show you, I wasn't making all that stuff up. Torta differs in its shorter spores, darker brown elemented medulla, and the presence of claviate subglobose and pedunculated, I don't know what that means, rather than columnar cells arranged in a palisade in the extol exsiculum, which is the underside. I just said the underside.
Brandon, what were the measurements on those torta spores?
Like mine or from here?
Well, yours, or from here.
So from here you have 8 to 12.
Yeah.
2.5 to 3.5, and on mine 8.2 to 10.2 by 2.6 to 3.4. So.
Yeah, I just sent an email to Taxonomy Tuesday, so maybe Sue is going to receive it. I have one observation of C. torta, which I think that's what it is, and my spores were up. They were like 8 to 11, I think. So that's in the ballpark with what you're saying, and
Yeah.
the color looked the same.
And the other one, and I don't know if you were here when I was reading the difference between the two, because torta has smaller bigutulate spores.
Yeah, bigutulate. Yeah, mine are bigutulate. So So I'm assuming this other species then has spores that probably go up well past 12 microns long, let's say.
Up to 15.
Up to 15. Okay, so the
And they
thing that I
start
sent.
and they start at 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so I sent a link to Taxonomy Tuesday. So I imagine that's in Sue's mailbox, with an old observation of what I think is the same species.
Right.
So I only one time. I thought it rung a bell, so I looked it up, and let me see. When was mine? May 2022. So not that long ago. I think it was. I think it was. Oh, it was during Helen Mickness foray, right?
Right,
Yeah. So down near Mount Alto.
I'm just going to move on for the sake of time.
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we're good. You're fine. It's just I could share 20 things tonight. I'm sure other people could too.
Oh God, yeah, so much stuff up.
This was funny because not funny. This is how I found this thing. It was on the ground. Actually, it was oriented the other way, with half the pore surface missing, half the stalk missing as well, and just laying on the ground like this. So I'm not sure if that was human interaction, bug interaction, what have you. But I think this beat up thing is Boletus morrisii. Very much had all elements of yellow, with some elements of red. I think they kind of came in with age, and I tested by scratching it, and it did stain red on the pore surface. This is the cap color, which kind of throws me a little bit, but the thing's really beat up. So, anyone have an opinion?
Igor, are you still there? Oh, there he is.
Looks a little bit like Hemloxanum ruberopunctum to me, to be honest with you. But that one doesn't have red tinged pores. I'm just, trying to make out where these are scabers or dots. Can't see very well. Probably, like I said, if it's tinged with red, then it's not ruberopunctum. That one just the pores or the tubes change to greenish in age. So you're probably correct about this one.
And when you say dots or scabers, so you're talking glandular dots?
No, they're just scruffy tufts. They're sort of similar to scabers, except that they're much smaller in ruberopunctum. As the name suggests, they're red dots.
Yeah.
Not to be confused. Yeah.
Does morrisii have scabers or dots?
Scabers.
Okay.
They are larger and they're more prominent. And as a matter of fact, I just learned recently that Boletus morrisii will be transferred to a genus that already exists, but it only has one species from Southeast Asia. And if I get its name, I have to look it up, but it's something exotic, something that you don't readily remember. Right. But yeah, we now know to certainty that we have a representative of that very scarce genus in North America, probably the only one.
Right.
Rostropomyces, I think that's the genus, something like that. I have to look it up. I could be wrong.
Cool. And I went. Yeah, the cap does look Hemloxanum, doesn't it?
Yeah, Hemloxanum ruberopunctum has a coarsely wrinkled cap, but those are shallow wrinkles, not the dense wrinkles you'll see in Hortonii, which is also Hemloxanum. But yeah, this one, yeah, like I said, I agree with you. This is morrisii. This is not ruberopunctum.
Yeah, and you can see the bug part, the worm party breaking out of the cap there.
Yep, they're breaking out. They had enough.
Yep. All right, cool. Thank you. Let me do, what was that? Did I do 4? Do I have one more?
You have one more.
Okay.
I don't count the 2 Tiberias yet. Got one more to go. And of course,
Mm,
I think we'll have plenty of time at the end of the session. I don't
Gray,
Yeah, 'cause
violet, bolete. Okay.
you want to look at that one?
Quickly, just I want to see the
Uh,
picture, and we're not going to discuss it. I just want to take a look at the pictures.
Well, I thought it was interesting, growing like this.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have yeah, the porcelain? Yeah, this is violet. The cap and the stalk, same, tinged with violet. This is not. I don't think this is
Violet. Violet.
plumbeoviolaceus. Yeah, it's not.
Oh, you think this
Usually,
is
the pore surface in these is also of the same lilac color. Yeah, I think this is good. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
You- you-
plumbeoviolaceus usually has
no, no,
like a
no.
marbled
Wait a second. You called it
appearance on the stalk.
plumbeoviolaceus. I think this is violet tinctus.
Yeah,
Violet Tinctus? Okay.
plumbeoviolaceus has that marbled appearance on the stipe, doesn't it?
Right, right. And the cap is brown. This one is not brown. This is okay. So I looked at the stupid common name and assumed it was the name for violet tinctus. No, this is not plumbeoviolaceus, I think.
Violet
Yeah, so
tinctus makes
you
sense
think
to
this is
me.
Violet Tinctus?
Yeah, I think let's take a look at the stipes again. The one here and the one on the left. If you scroll all the way to the left, the ones that are inverted. You see here they look more mottled, like you would see in the plumbeoviolaceus.
Yeah,
Not
and
close.
I will say I thought they were modeled.
Okay,
in-
if they were modeled, then it's plumbeoviolaceus. Okay, but yeah, I think you're right. This is plumbeoviolaceus. These look like more maybe. Yeah, they see that they're modeled.
Look
They're
at the
modeled.
one on the right. It's
Yeah,
got that marbled look.
they're marbled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and the caps are. See,
Brownish.
violet tinctus is also going to have brown caps at the end. The key is the stipe. The mottled dark purple is plumbeoviolaceus. The solid sort of brownish lilac pale color is violet tinctus.
I think the widely club-shaped stalks also suggest plumbeoviolaceus more than
Violet tinctus can also do that. So
it can
sometimes.
also do that. Okay.
But the key thing is the pore surface in this young one. It's white. It's not purple or lilac. So this is not violet tinctus.
Yeah, I think a couple of those photos, it's just maybe the stipe surface wasn't in focus really well, so it got kind of blended.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
the only photo I took really any time to take because I saw it. I grabbed one. I saw that the pores were white, and I was like, that's I know
Yeah,
this
the
thing.
pores-
It's plumbeoviolaceus.
Plumbeoviolaceus, yes. This is correct. This is not violet tinctus.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
No.
Igor.
Yes.
Case closed. Well, we didn't talk about it, like 2 minutes, right? So let's look at the other one. What's that purple thing
Yes.
below?
Yeah, so I was fully prepared to call this. Well, I did. I called it Garicales, figuring that I needed to do a little work on it. I'm waiting on a spore print from it right now. It hasn't thrown spores. That Ascomycete we looked at dumped spores before this thing did, which was pretty interesting.
Oh, I think I know what this is. I'm not coming up with the name now. There's another one that's more common and it's greenish yellow.
Yeah.
So there's a purple one and a greenish yellow one.
Callistosporium.
Callistosporium. Yeah, Callistosporium purpureum, I think, or something like that.
They both have a two color thing. And I think this one's purpureomarginatum. And
yeah, it's got purple and oh wow, look at that long name.
And the other one's luteoolivaceum.
Luteoolivaceum. Yeah, it's like greenish yellow.
Yeah, and this one's
yeah. So the
purplish.
gills are like indented. They're like very narrowly notched, right close to the stipe. You don't see these very often. This is a somewhat uncommon species in my experience.
Yeah, and that's why I talked about this with the first time I found luteoolivaceum as well. For whatever reason, the AI, when you just go, I don't know what this thing is, let me see what the AI says, For a lot of purple things, it suggests this name, purpureomarginatum or whatever, marginata. And for yellow things, it's always wrong. It suggests the other Callistosporium, luteolaceum. So I was happy when Nick came in and gave me the name. But yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I haven't done any of the work on it, but yeah, it stands out like nothing you would ever think. You know what I mean? It's that color is really true.
Beautiful.
Is that where you got your slime mold too?
That's where I got my slime molds.
Nice.
So what's interesting, actually, I think this is also that cancellata, because I threw it under the stereoscope real quick, but these maybe had the spore still in them, so I wasn't able to make it out as well as, yeah, back up on this other side of the log, they were more mature and they had a bit more of a red look, which I think in maturity, Cribaria, is that how we're saying it? Cancellata has more of a reddish look.
Cribaria.
Cribaria. Okay.
I still can't believe you're getting these things home intact.
They're sturdy. They're not, if anything, I was benefited by the fact that I kind of fumbled the ones in the back and all the spores fell out. So you were able to see the whole peridium. All right. I feel like I've been talking for a while. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Before we move on to somebody else, Dave, you had those links that you sent me. I put one of them in the chat.
Yeah, there's I sent the first email I sent you had a mushroom observer observation for Inocybe subocratia, and I think it's pretty similar to what Chris's thing looked like.
That one.
The spores of subocracia are described as by one person as being variable, not consistently shaped any one way. And my one observation of what I thought was Inocybe subocracia, based on these really, really long, thin pleural cystidia, and also the presence of a cortina in the young ones, like Chris's had. So these are yellow though. Chris's was more brown. Subocracia is kind of a yellow thing, but it's really the spore photo we want here, which is coming up. So that there. See, look at these spores. Some of them are kind of look like Chris's spores. Kind of elongated, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I thought last week. I just couldn't think of the name.
Yeah, that's funny. The spores are kind of off like that too. Like they weren't all the same.
Yeah, and here's these weird long pleural cystidia that you get on this species, long and thin. And it's funny, this species was featured in Fungi magazine a few issues ago. Britt Bunyard put it in there, pretty much saying like, look at this strange, rare species. And maybe it is generally rare, but for the last 3 years, I've been finding it everywhere I go. Late in the season, usually, August or September. I found it in New Jersey last year, and I found a lot of them in Pennsylvania the last 2 years. So that's the thing I was trying to think of last week. And it's a true Inocybe based on all these metuloids all over the gills.
Well, it's pretty dry and delicate, but who knows? I'll have to take another dip in that one.
If you can just even knock off a little piece of gill and rehydrate it a little bit, if it's this species, you are going to find some of these things because they're all over the gills.
Cool.
If it's that species, but if it's not that species, I think it's probably in the ballpark with it. So you can see here how the variables, the spores are in the true Inocybes. These don't look anything like the nodulose or stellate things that we often think of.
Okay.
Yeah, those
I don't know.
pretty similar.
So the other item you sent, or is that to be now?
Yeah, it was
Is that
that
follow-up?
sea torta thing that Brandon showed. I had one observation of that, and I did. There are a couple of photos that are not bad.
Is your sea torta?
Yeah, Conocybe torta, right? If you're saying it. So actually, Brandon's observation was better than mine, though. He had better micro. But you can see the spores there. You go back to that one before that. You can see the spores they're not real long. They're bigotulate, and I've got some dimensions estimated in the notes. So what do I have here in the note? 9 to 11, 3 to 4. It looks like. So I think
Yeah,
that's probably it.
in my about 7 hours of experience with this thing, I would agree.
Okay. Well, it's just a cool
there it is.
species
Okay.
to compare notes on. That's all. Because I've only found this thing once.
But you're 87% sure. That's great.
But well, that means basically the 87% means that I'm saying I'm pretty darn sure that's what it is. And
Yep.
the only way to get that percentage to go up is if somebody else comes on and votes for the same species at I'd call it that. And then Mushroom Observer will jump up the percentage into the 90s. And by the way, there is no such thing as a Mushroom Observer observation where the community vote confidence equals 100%. They have disallowed that level of confidence, which in my opinion is actually a really sensible thing to do. It's one of the things I like about Mushroom Observer better than iNaturalist. There's always an element of doubt in fungal identification.
I like it.
No one else has put, they have anything in the chat here? I don't think there was anything else. Virginia tells us that structure on the cup, the Cribaria, is a calciculus. So that's it. So I guess,
That
Hunter, do you want
bottom
to go
part
next?
that Brandon was pointing at.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The bottom part of the peridium. I guess it's probably a different kind of peridium, but
Okay, Hunter, this is your Sabacina.
Yeah, so after we talked about the difference between Sebacina schwinnitzii and sparassoidea, I found this, so I thought I'd share it. Can you make it move up a little more so we can see? Yeah, thank you. And I'm pretty positive this is what it is, but it's real jelly-like, and I think this is pretty typical. I didn't pick it. I didn't do any microscopy, but I wanted to share it to counter that stiffer, whiter schwinnitzii.
yeah, these are hollow, and you can see evidence of that.
Like tubular almost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The interior, is they're hollow. I don't think Sebacina is.
Yeah, the
Schwinnitzii.
right. Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
the tips are hollow?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see on the right, like there's sort of almost tube-like structures with
Oh, there's a hole in that one.
yeah.
And these used to be, I identified it the first time, I think Tremella.
Tremellodendron.
Yeah, yep, something like that.
Yeah, both of them, right? I know the other one was Schwinnitzii. I didn't
Okay.
know.
Melodon.
Oh, it was Tremelodon?
At least that's what I remember. Maybe I'm
Okay.
wrong.
Tremolodendron pallidum was what
Okay.
Schweinitzia used to be.
Tremelodendron, okay.
Tremolodendron pallidum.
Tremelodendron, okay.
So
Yeah, the jellied false coral, Gary Linkoff called it.
I was just gonna ask, is it a jelly? Is it a coral? Is what is it?
A false coral.
Yes.
That doesn't help.
It means it's not a coral.
Michael Quo makes some, I think it's definitive one way or the other. I think he says jelly. But I'm gonna look it up. Let's see.
If you know what family it's in, then I think that would be something that would be good to consider when assigning this some sort of common generalized name. Because I think it's good if these common names at least, tie together species or genera, they're at least in the same family.
Yeah,
I'm not
it
sure if there's any thought given to that.
makes sense for sure if we're gonna use them at all. Yeah. Quo puts Schwinitziae in jelly. And so I assume Sebacina is along with it. Because Schwinitziae doesn't even seem jelly-like at all, but
Yeah, jellied false coral, he calls it.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
Gary
Dave.
Linkoff's name. He probably came up with that just because he had to put it in the Audubon guide.
Dave, I do like your, if we figure out what family it is or even order, because I often do that. If I find something that's jelly-like, I'll go, to that higher order of jelly fungi and be like, okay, any families or genera that I don't recognize that I can kind of hone in on. So yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it. But these end up in Sebaciniales, so that doesn't really help us.
I like the strategy of like what you just said though, Brandon, like which ones don't fit and and kind of getting those down. Yeah.
Sebaciniales, that sounds like is that a Wait,
That's the
Alli is
higher. That's the higher order. It's
that's a higher
Sebaciniales,
order.
and then Sebaciniaceae.
Sebaciniaceae. That sounds like a small grouping, really.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Two families, Sebaciniaceae and Serendipitaceae, which I've never heard of, and there are no entries for that. Yeah, so in Sebacina, the only real there's Digitangium and Tremeloscypha. So these borderline, jelly or club type things.
All right, moving on to some guild fungi.
Yeah, so I really blew this. I saw it and I thought Agaricus, and then I looked up yellow staining Agaricus, and then I'm like, okay, it's the Agaricus xanthodermalis or something, and then spores were white, and Igor corrected me. It's Leucoagaricus americanus, and it was so white. I did not recognize it. It's just, you just can't make assumptions and jump to conclusions too quickly. But this was really white when I found it. So at any rate, I guess they can look that way. And usually when I find them, there's the reddening already in the cap. But the staining was pretty neat, I thought. Well, and I generally see more red staining than the yellow, but this is a common feature of this mushroom as well.
Yeah, and it's the really onion shaped stalk is what I think one of the common names for this is the onion stalked Lepiota. It used to be Lepiota. Separates it from some of the chlorophyllum that will stain of saffron or orangey or when you cut through the base.
Okay. Right.
And the shape of the cap also. It's more sort of
convex.
Convex bell shaped kind of.
Yeah, bell shape. Yeah. Yeah, the stipe was, it's very unique, the shape is, and just the feel, and yeah, I don't know, I don't even know how I was thinking agaricus, because it's not at all like the stipes of agaricus, the feel or the shape at the base, but it's really clavate, is that correct?
Clavate.
Clavate, yes, club shaped.
Yeah, clavate. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a nice find. It was just a yard find and at a friend's house. And I did look at the spores. And that's really it. Oh, I
Is
did.
that melters?
It is, I think.
Yeah, they're dextrinoid. So it's a good example of dextrinoid spores under the scope.
Okay, yeah, it might be. I definitely used melters in another observation we'll look at. But then this was it from a different bottle, the ones that the labels all came off. So I think I got lucky and actually picked melters. Otherwise, it could be like iodine or something. I don't know, something red, but it probably is. It should be dextrinoid.
Yeah, it might be just iodine because that might be why some of them didn't absorb it.
Yeah, it might be, or yeah, because I know I have a very tiny bit of melters and I didn't use it on this one, but I did use it on the Amanita one. And so I did get the amyloid reaction, which
Yeah.
is good.
I bet you this is iodine, and you can
Okay.
see why the other ingredients probably help to fix the absorption. Because look at some of them did not absorb it.
Right.
I mean, some of them are really dark purple, reddish purple brown kind of, and that's the dextrinoid reaction. And then some of them look like they didn't absorb it very well. That's probably why the chloral hydrate is in there.
Got it.
All right, next one.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you guys, people have shown this or similar. Can you move it up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just trying to write down the name before I forget.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I've always admired the photos and never really seen it. And I think and I finally saw it, or I believe what's Marasmiellus. What is it?
See, you need to take a
Candidus.
little longer.
I know, that's right. I see what happens. You can't have both. Can't have everything. But it's, there's a couple other Marasmiellus. It could be. But I was really excited to find it. It was really small, and I did grab it to do microscopy, and then it got lost somewhere. I didn't.
You said it was really small, but this looks pretty big.
I know, but they were pretty small. I mean, I guess it wasn't tiny though, because I mean I could see them from walking by. So but yeah, they look huge here, but they were pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have put something for scope.
For scale. I mean, we have those
Yeah.
leaves, but I don't know what kind of leaves those are. They're looks like very big leaves.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, they were, everything's pretty pumped up in the area. We've also had a lot of rain generally. And so things are really large. But you know, this was probably, I mean, no more than like half inch the cap across the cap, and even that is probably a bit large. So I don't know. We need to do better on.
So what are they, like a centimeter wide or so, something like that?
I thought these might have been a tiny bit bigger, but not really. Yeah, not
Okay.
much. Yeah, they were really small.
Uh, Everybody's happy with this identification? Candidus?
Yeah, I don't know this species very well. If I found it, it's been a long, long time since I did. So it's nice. You know, I wouldn't know what to say what it was from the photos.
Okay, I thought someone shown something like it. But yeah, there's, I think if you know, a few lookalikes. So I don't know. I'll have to try to get a specimen and do a little deeper dive.
All right, next one, unknown Amanita. Oh, well, we know what that is. Okay.
So it's a destroying angel, but which one, I don't know. I was hoping to see the basidia, because some have 2 spores and some have 4, I believe. I also didn't put any KOH on the cap when it was fresh, which some have a yellow flashing, and others don't. I did not do that. I did use Melteros on the spores, and it looks to me like they're amyloid. The look of it, I mean, like if I had to throw a name on it, I might put elliptosperma on it, but only sort of because of its stature and the way the veil is, but I really don't know.
I think the shape of the bulb supports the elliptosperma. Did you put KOH on it at all when it was dry?
I did when I got home, and it did not.
Yeah, it's probably elliptosperma then. I mean, even if it's, you're still going to get the yellow reaction on, I believe, on the Ameriferosa or Bisporogera.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it might have been even like the day late.
Can we see the spores again?
Yeah.
Can
we
that
pull them
be
up a little?
pumped up a little bit? Yeah, those are ellipsoid. Broadly ellipsoid to ellipsoid.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the other destroying angels mainly have like subglobose to broadly ellipsoid. So I mean that's not a great big difference, but it is a little bit because some of these are ellipsoid. Some of these spores are ellipsoid.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Like the one
barely
under
ellipsoid, but some of them
4.
are ellipsoid.
Yeah.
Is that the ellipto and elliptosperma?
Yes, I think because sperma is like
Okay.
a word for spore. Yeah. Yep, that's where it comes from.
Cool.
I think that's what you've got.
All right, good. It was a beauty for sure.
Igor, what do you think? Are you still here?
Yeah, of course I'm still here. I thought I proposed the name for this thing, section Phalloidea, but here's a cautionary tale. There are some Amanitas out there. They're rare, but I call them Phalloidea wannabes because actually they belong in section Rhonacensis of the Lepidella, but they look exactly like destroying angels. But phylogenetically, they are Rhonacensis. And they have these limbate vulvas and they have bald caps. The prime example of that is the exotic species that grows in China. called Amanita oberwinklerana, named after a German mycologist who is now deceased by the name of Oberwinkler. So
Wow.
if you look up that mushroom, it's going to scream a destroying angel at you, but it's not a destroying angel.
So,
It's
so
a Roanokensis.
these Roanokensis things have smooth caps.
Yes, they look
Wow,
exactly
that's
like destroying
interesting.
angels.
I think most of the Roanokensis though don't they have like elongate or like what's that word for the spores? Bacilli.
Not necessarily bacilliform. Not all of them. The ones in the pine barrens are often bacilliform. But I'm just saying that there are these gray areas in Amanita where you have some kind of convergent whatever evolution, and you wind up with these morphological phalloidei things, but they're not phalloidei. So I'm not saying this is one of them, but we have examples like that here in North America. We have these strange things, sort of kind of a hybrid between phalloidei and subsection Limbacula of the Lepidella.
Yeah,
So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
I came across an observation with a sequence, and somebody proposed the name phalloidei, but when I blasted the sequence, there are no phalloidei, section phalloidei around. They were all Oberwinklerana and some other Roanokensis. So we have examples of, they're rare. Maybe it's just a handful of these. Maybe just like, even less than that, but we do have them.
Well,
I'm not
that
saying,
is
again,
really interesting.
it is interesting. So the fact that the KOH didn't produce anything sort of also points that way.
Yeah, it could point either way.
It could point either way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's a dichotomy here.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
but the big ring and the bald cap, and the limbate vulva. I mean, to me, this looks like a phalloidei. And chances are it is 90%, 95%, something like that. But again, you have to sometimes think outside of the box and remind yourself of these weird cases, because they will pop out, or pop up, I should say, from time to time.
I wonder if there's any microscopic trait that one might try to exploit to show the difference between something in Roanokensis and Phalloidea.
Well, something weird in Roanokensis. I mean, Google Oberwinklerana, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, those look like bona fide destroying angels.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if there's something like in the Tylopilus or something, that.
Right.
I don't know. It's too bad Rod's website is non-existent right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very discouraging, because I mean, I go to that thing, that website, just to check out certain facts and remind myself of certain species traits and brush up on some sectional placements. But that thing has been like, I have no idea what's going on. Very frustrating.
Well, Lila said that she heard that they're putting together a new website.
Yeah, but why shut down the old one? I mean,
well, because it kept getting hacked.
Well, then then you have to pay extra for security. That was what everybody else does.
Yeah, I don't know. Now you're in an area I have no appreciation.
Yeah, this is the area that Sue can tell us about more probably.
Yeah.
I'm not going to volunteer how easy it is to hack anything.
No, I'm not hacking, but about protection, and how expensive is it to protect your website from,
It can
or
be
just
very
being
expensive.
secure.
Very expensive. And
Like
they're
all
making
this-
it tougher and tougher for making everything to be two-factor identifications, which is, it's best just protect your password as opposed to worrying about having to have a phone at all times if you need to access the website.
Right. Well, I mean,
Oh,
why would
right.
somebody hack Rod's website? I mean, that all information is
Oh,
public.
there's a lot of people out there who just do these things because they can.
Yep.
So this I learned from you guys and found it whenever, like near when I first started coming to Taxonomy Tuesday, and I had found it for the first time. I had no idea what it was, and you guys taught it to me. And then I remembered I have a file, I have my old pictures in it, so I looked it up, I found it, and pretty certain this is what it is. And I might have done spores, but I don't think so. I mean, I think I did, but I don't know if I included any here.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
certainly agree with that ID.
This was out this weekend, last weekend, I guess, when we were at Meadowwood. It was also there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And what I think can we enlarge this image
Which way you want to go?
dead center to where the caps are kind of grayish? And if you go to show original image, it'll be more clear.
First time I ever saw this was at Meadow Woods about 40 years ago.
Nothing is easy as stay open.
Yeah, I'm wondering where I found it, last time, if it was about the same spot. I'm kind of thinking it might have been.
So what's significant about the grays? They start out as gray?
Well, I find a gray version of Gerronema.
Geronimo.
Geronema, I thought.
By the way, Susan, we did find these at Meadowwoods last Sunday.
Yes,
Yeah, Sue just said that. Yeah, I think
Oh.
that's kind of funny since it's 40 years ago when I saw it or so. But it seems to be a thing. I've seen other posts, I guess, on Facebook or somewhere, or you people who seems to be prevalent this year. So whatever the weather's been in New Jersey or otherwise.
This
Well, they
thing,
were out a lot last year too.
yeah, this thing for the 4 years that I've been paying attention to fungi, this time of year, I can't go into the woods without seeing it. For the past 4 years, rain, drought, whatever it is, super common.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these here in Northeast PA, either this year or last year.
What's the gray version? Is it a different species or just?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, I think it's just when they're younger, funny habitat.
That's what I'm looking at with this observation, because I think when I find it's tough to say, yeah, it's definitely, however you want to say it, I'm going to keep saying Gerronema, strombodes. It's tough to say it's definitely that if it's not yellow, right?
Yeah.
So when you find them young and they're kind of gray, even the stipes can be gray when they're young. They can throw you, but I think it's all strombodes.
So you think maybe there's a potential for confusion with Arhenia?
I definitely looked at Arhenia for a long time when I found a young gray one, and kind of came to the conclusion, I think I left it at Gerronema, to be fair.
I think that's a good thing to point out, really, because I can see that there being possible confusion there.
And also why it's important to try and look at old ones, young ones, medium ones, not perfect like the picture might be in the book or on the website.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, the problem is sometimes you just don't have that option. You might come across a fruiting of just young ones,
Wow, I just looked up Arhenia, and I mean, the structure is really similar. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'll see if I can post an observation of a bunch of young ones that I found, and how strombodes wouldn't really be the one that jumps out at you,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and once again, Hunter, if you remember to clear away debris from your field, your photographic field, this looks like it could have been a really nice photo. Also, we've got a little bit of stuff in the way.
Okay, I'll try harder. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hunter. I think that was your 5.
Oh, there's just this one.
Oh, the picture in here, yes.
Yeah. This was just interesting. I just thought I'd share it. It looks like mycelium to me. And I stood a stick up and came back a couple days later, and the stick was gone, and I couldn't find this anywhere. It was right in the middle of a path. So I thought that was interesting too.
Is that a
Um,
Okay. Was
plasmodium
this
maybe from
dry or
China?
sticky? Slimy?
I didn't touch it. I did not.
Didn't touch it. Oh, okay.
What do
It
you
looked-
saying? A plasmodia or what do you think, Virginia?
If it was slimy or wet or sticky, it's a plasmodium.
Oh, so did it move? It moved somewhere?
It moves around, yes.
Wow.
And then it eventually will form a fruit body.
Slime mold fruit body or
It's a slime mold.
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at
Wow.
the upper left.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's like it does look like I've watched a bunch of like time lapse and stuff of like slime molds that looks like a freeze frame of one of them time lapses.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, when you see something like that, you need to go look at it after a half a day at the most, a few hours, and to see if anything looks different.
Okay, I was too slow. Yeah, it was probably 3 or 4 days later. So, and there's that one kind of ball of, yeah, on the bottom in the center on that ball of white. Yeah,
You mean acorn cap?
what's that?
It looks to me like an acorn cap. You don't think there's an acorn cap that's covered?
Oh, maybe it's a doll's eye berry or something. Oh, there's
Oh,
more.
that one looks different. That doesn't look like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me share this, and
Okay.
I'm enlightened now on this. Cool, thanks.
Virginia, you want to do yours since we were just on slime molds? I'm not quite sure what this is coming up
Okay.
as.
It's not a slime mold.
Oh, it's not. Yes.
Sorry. No, walking along the street, everybody's yard had 3 or 4 of those growing in the grass.
I saw a bunch of these myself today.
Yeah, practically everybody's yard. And a couple of weeks ago, the same thing happened. So anyway, there were some in our yard, so I collected some. I tried to do a spore print, and that last one there, it was just what it dried up. And that's what it looked like when I tried to do a spore print.
Did you cover the fruit body with a cup like they
Yes,
tell
I
you
did.
to do? Yeah,
Yes, I covered it.
don't do that because this is what happens.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
still tell that it's orangish.
Yes. Do you have a name for this?
I don't know what it is. I'm not a
Oh, it's
mushroom
it's a
expert.
Conocybe apala.
And the spores are sort of
Oh,
yellow, golden brown color.
Yeah, they're all over here too. Conocybe apala. Everybody's yard has them now.
Everybody's yard, yes.
yeah, when they're popped open fully like that, I just would, or the ones I've seen have been, I guess that one's not really.
Well, he has it when he has this thing is open.
I heard these were deadly poisonous. Is that true, or this is
I just read that. I think on Michael Quebec they have they call them phallotoxins or something. So
Yeah.
that sounds pretty bad.
and we actually had a poison control call from the center some time ago, maybe in a couple of weeks ago. And Lila and I were trying to figure out whether these are truly deadly toxic or not, but there's no information online about their edibility, interestingly. But somewhere I
Just
heard that
Michael Quebec says they're they are badly toxic.
Yeah, do they give a reference for that statement?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember, but I just read it, because Michael Quebec has a little, they have a little part where they'll comment on edibility, and the comment on this species was poisonous, contains phallotoxins, they called them, which doesn't sound very good, really.
Well, phallotoxins are not going to kill you. Amatoxins are going to kill you. Phallotoxins
Okay.
are structurally the same, except that they don't get absorbed, and they cause the diarrhea.
Oh,
So when you ingest, when somebody ingests a Amanita bisporigera, you get both compounds, and it's the phallotoxins that cause the
so that's why you get
gastrointestinal.
sick twice.
You get sick twice. You get the GI disturbance from those things which are not absorbed, and then amatoxins that you get absorbed in the gut and they go to the liver and cause the second toxicity. Right?
Oh, interesting. Oh,
They're the
thank you.
ones that
I didn't know. I didn't know why.
They kill cells, right?
Yeah, they kill cells. Pretty good at that.
Yeah.
And they do it again and again and again because that thing just recirculates through your body. It's not getting excreted.
But this thing, assuming it does not contain amatoxins, wouldn't be doing cell death type poisoning, right?
Yeah, probably not, unless it has something else. On Nemo, there's this guy who from Canada who deals with these LBMs. McMahon, his last name is Lawrence or something like that. Remember, Dave? There's this guy from
Yeah, I think is it Connor McMahon?
I think it was Lawrence or something. Yeah, I forget.
Something McMahon.
McMahon, yeah.
Yeah.
And he only does these paniolas,
Conocybe he really likes. And
Yeah. Well,
Paneolas,
he
right?
does like Gyroporus too, right? Like,
I think he'll comment on those, and he has a few posts also, the small ones usually.
So he could be like a resident expert at these things.
oh, cool.
So are you saying it's Conocybe, Apala?
Yes,
Conocybe apala.
Conocybe apala.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and Virginia, the cystidia on these things. So if you smash some gill material, very unique.
I tried one, but I couldn't see anything. If I get more.
I never find those capitate cystidia on these things. Maybe I'm not doing
Really?
something wrong.
Yeah, that's one of the ways, even before just looking at the spores, I'll just mount some gill material real quick, confirm that it has those subcapitate kind of sorry piece looking things.
And you just do a smash mount of gill?
I try to do a Roman an aqueduct.
Oh, okay. Perhaps you have to do a really careful section, which I don't do.
Well, there's
what probably happens is I smash gill, and the gill probably smashes and hides them. Is probably what.
Yeah, on top of itself.
Yeah.
These things are. I don't always do a Roman aqueduct, but these things are super easy to work with. You know what I mean? They're real fragile. There's no resistance when you're trying to do that cross section.
So that's a good point. You can pass a razor blade through this thing pretty easily. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. There's some out there right now, on my yard.
Yeah, shouldn't be a lack of material for anyone. These things after the rains, they just come up like gangbusters, right?
Yeah, assuming they keep coming up. I mean, they've been coming up now for about a week or two around here.
Yeah, they're gone today already.
Oh, they don't last long.
Yeah. And they do kind of start out more orange, right? The cap, at least.
A little bit of pigment to start.
When they're
bleed out and
pins.
they get white.
When I say start out, like pins. So like in the morning,
Oh,
that little tiny thing that has just come up will be orange, and then by the
you know, I should
afternoon,
go out
be
tomorrow
white.
morning on my lawn before I even have my coffee and see, try to get a few photos of young ones. And maybe get a young one and bring it in and maybe try to find some cystidia. Oh, okay. Well, something to do tomorrow morning.
Okay, Dave, I think you're next for your pictures that you sent in. Let me go see.
Yeah, boy, there's so many things to choose from.
Oh,
There's
you keep
just
on
so much
going.
stuff out now. So there's my 5. And, if
Yes.
you want me to keep
Well,
going.
let me just do this.
So look at the authorship here on this thing. It's a provisional species. So this is an Igor species. And I guess one of the first ones that you studied was maybe one that I sent you a few years ago.
Yeah,
And
it was more than just a few years ago. It was more like 7 or 8 years ago.
yeah, it was a while back. Yeah, that was a while back. Yeah, so Igor was with me. We were like standing together, right, when I noticed this thing
Yes,
just
you
barely
noticed that
poking
thing.
out of the ground.
And then when I went on my own later on, I found another one elsewhere.
Oh, you found another one up. Did you go across the road?
I went on Tannery Road toward in the westwardly direction,
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
away from Bear Lake Road. So I
I
found
see.
one. Yeah, I'll post later.
Oh, good. You didn't get caught in the rain, did you?
Oh no,
Okay, because it did rain there
it
eventually.
was
Igor
completely dry.
Igor
The
drove
whole
up
day
to
was dry.
PA last Saturday and joined our club at a foray. So it's a good location. So it was kind of
Can we see those spores again?
yeah,
So
they're typical bolete spores.
yeah, so this
Subfusate.
Neoboletus is not
Huh.
really colorful, unlike the one we saw at Meadowwoods on Sunday, um, which has another provisional name of mine. This thing is mostly yellow brown through and through, and the distinctive feature of this bolete are the brown squamules on the stipe. Hence
Yeah, I
the
got
name.
one photo here through a loop. The last foot, yeah, there we go. It's not a great photo. I couldn't get it to focus really well, but you get the idea here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
not a great photo, but you can see what Igor's talking about.
yeah, the overall morphology, including the squamules, which are typical for Neoboletus in general, but you can eliminate subvolutipes and the chameleon and all the other ones. This is a pretty distinct Neoboletus.
Is there one more photo? I think there's one more photo where I went through a loop. Yeah, afterwards. The last one before the
Yes, yes.
yeah, this one. So this one you can see this is through a loop. It's a little bit better. It's still not that great, but
Yeah,
you
it's
can
a
see what Igor's talking
dense
about.
coating of these irregular whatever spots on the squamules on the yellow, otherwise yellow stipe. And the pattern can vary from sparsely populated finer dots to really dense coating, even denser than this. There are two interesting forms of this bolete, and the DNA is slightly not the same, but I'm pretty sure it's probably a biogeographic variant. The other form has a very short stipe, and it looks like a gasteroid bolete. And if you go on MO and type this name, you'll see collections that look, like a distorted, like very pulvinate shaped cap and a very short stipe. Yeah, give you like an impression of a gasteroid bolete with a sort of devolving stipedal base.
That's
Uh,
interesting you point that out now, Igor, because I didn't get an in situ photo of this. Or I did, the first photo.
You did.
It was just barely sticking. Oh, I did not. That's not in
No.
situ. It was in a really shady spot. There wasn't enough light to get a good photo. But you could just only see the upper cap surface surrounded by the soil and the moss that it was growing out of. So it was kind of like almost buried.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that the one I found was growing within a root, and it was all contorted and gnarled. And yeah, this one is also misshapen, but at least has a long stipe, although it's not straight. It's really like S-shaped. It's really bent. So this was not a happy camper, So I'm not sure if they like to grow that way or it's just a coincidence of some kind. But anyway, it's a fairly rare species. We don't see this very often. Yeah, and the ITS sequences, again, like they show regional diversity. They are not completely identical. They will have mutations and ambiguities. And I think there's a pattern to them, but it's not easy to figure out what the pattern is. So look out for this modest-looking Neoboletus next time you're around in the woods.
Thank you. I would have thought that was just dried and old, and I wouldn't have picked it.
Yeah, I mean, the lookalike, the potential lookalike is vermiculosoides, but it has a much darker brown sort of pore surface than this.
Is that blue bruising is that blue?
Yeah, they bruise blue. It's a Neoboletus. It is going to bruise blue.
I didn't want to slice it in the field because it was a little bit old fruit body to begin with, and I wanted to get it home in the best possible condition so I could get it into the dryer. I should have taken a photo at home of it sliced before I put it in, but I had a lot of material to deal with. There were a lot of mushrooms I wanted to get into the dryer last Saturday.
Inocybe.
Yeah, it's a true Inocybe, this one. Also found not far from where this bolete was found, on the side of a dirt road in mixed woods. And so how do I know it's a true Inocybe? Well, that's coming up. Oh, see, this one has also a pretty prominent partial vent. Look at these spores. If I saw these spores, Inocybe would not be very high up on the list of my guesses. These don't look like typical Inocybe spores, just these like small ellipsoid things. But here you go. The metuloids were just all over the smash mount of the gill. They're all floating all through the Congo red. I used Congo red and diluted it a little bit. Put the Congo red on and then put a little water on and blotted some off so that the tissue absorbed the Congo red. So that last photo, though, you can really see it's got the thick walls. You can see, especially in the upper right part.
Yeah, towards the base.
The walls are really thick, and it's also got some ornamentation on the one end. So it's a metuloid. So it's a true Inocybe species. Well, I don't know. Maybe if I got if I tried, I might get lucky and get a name that almost fits. But it's just these Inocypes are interesting. They're interesting little things to discuss because of the microscopy. So I think the next one's also going to be an Inocybe, found a few feet away from this one. I think that's what's coming up next. Yeah, another Inocybe. These were like a meter apart, or maybe I think I put 1.5 meters in the observation, but it might have been even closer than that. So once again, how do I know this is an Inocybe? Well, this one really, as soon as I saw the spores, I thought, well, that's got to be an Inocybe. So, well, then I thought, well, wait a second now, could this be an Entoloma with these sort of polygonal spores? But no, but looking at them through my better scope, I made a drawing because I don't get good photos through my binocular scope. So I made a drawing, and that's pretty much what they looked like. They were just like really irregular and nodulose, with all these nodules sticking out all over the place. Some of the nodules were rounded, Some of them were like pointed. They were really sort of very irregular looking. You can't see it really on this photo. The photo is really about the cystidium. So there's a thick-walled pleurocystidium. It looks like it's got a hat on, right? So it's got an ornamented apex. So another, and certainly not the same species as that last one we just looked at. And look at this weird cystidium. Like it's really inflated. So
Potbelly.
this little piece of information might possibly, along with the spore morphology, if I really wanted to, do some looking, I might be able to figure this. And the other one too, because those spores were they were small ellipsoid, which is unusual for true Inocybe. So I don't know, if I want to do some work, I might be able to zero in on each of these. If in fact they're named species, there's a lot of Inocybes out there. I think there's probably still a lot of them that are not documented very well.
Yeah, and Dave, I wasn't just yelling out the word potbelly. That's what they call those, cystidium.
Oh yes, yeah, pot-bellied, right? So, yeah, just like a few feet apart. They were the only Inocybes that were found on that entire foray. Although some of the club members in my club, they may have, some of them may have seen like some Inocybes, just like I'm not going to pick those because they're looking for like edible boletes or something, But at any rate, yeah, two interesting little Inocybes, true Inocybes with microscopy that was a fair amount different. So I don't know what's next. What did I send next?
Gyroporus.
Oh, these cool things. Yeah. So you look at these, and when you see this photo, you wonder, why do they call these the bluing Gyroporus or the bluing bolete? Well, the last photo will show. These are a really good edible.
Yeah.
I love
There
this.
we go.
So nice.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, they're nice to find.
Lucky.
Yeah. So actually, the people who found these were some of our members. They're from, I think, Latvia, but I think originally from Russia. And boy, it must be something in the East European blood. They just like zero in on the ball. They found all the boletes. They like a basket full of boletes by the end of this foray, with like 6 species in there. and the woman Raisa, she found these. So she didn't know what they were though. And Igor and I explained to her, what they were. So Gyroporus cyanescens.
Can we look at the stipe on that cross section? That's a typical Gyroporus stipe, it looks like, right?
Yeah, it's got like the exterior hard sort of shell, and then it's got this pithy stuff on the inside, and it's sort of like semi-chambered, with the chambers are sort of filled with this pith.
Right, chambered. That was the word I was trying to think of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, typical Gyroporus morphology. Yep.
Does this one go? Do we find this in New Jersey? I certainly never have.
Maybe you might find it up north, like in Stokes or something. But yeah, I think I rarely find it around where I live. I find that species often when I'm in the Adirondacks or Vermont. So, okay, so this is just jack-o'-lantern. So you wonder, if I have so many things to share, why would I share this? Because for anybody who's on Taxonomy Tuesday tonight who might be a beginner and wanting to learn chanterelles, sometimes young chanterelles will grow in a cluster, and they don't look all that different than this, honestly. So I posted this because when you read descriptions of jack-o'-lantern mushrooms, Omphalotus, illudens, you read about these great big things that have these really well-defined gills, sharp-edged gills, and the gills comprise a separate layer of context from the rest of the cap. And so none of that information is going to help you understand that these guys are Omphalotus illudens. So it's just I shared this tonight. So for any beginners out there who are hoping to learn to pick chanterelles, it's probably a good thing for you to see this. These are poisonous for most people, except for Captain Charles McIlvaine, who found them toothsome and of good substance, even though everybody else got sick at his party. But anyway, how do you tell the difference? What's a good way to tell the difference? Right here, cross section one of them. A true chanterelle is going to be white inside, and these things have this like marbled orangey with a little bit of white mixed in. White spored. Well, you're not going to get spores out of these young ones anyway. But yep, that's why I wanted to share this.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share before Dave continues on to his extras?
If people want to see the extras, I'll keep talking about them. There was just a lot of really cool stuff these last couple of weeks, and it's going to continue to be like that, I imagine. Did you guys got all that flooding rain yesterday, right? Through most of New Jersey?
Yes, we were talking about it before the session started.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah, we received from 2 showers that each lasted about 20 minutes or so, one at night and one in the morning. We had 2.6 inches in the gauge.
Yeah,
So
the storms in New Jersey have been not only incredibly isolated, but they're not moving. So, that one cell will stay still and dump on the same spot for the extent of it, but it's not moving down the road. You know what I mean? So
that's been happening here too. Yeah.
There have been places that Haddonfield, which is 5 miles down the road from me, has had a ton of rain. And here in Voorhees, they've all missed us. So
we have a spot here in Lycoming County, which is a little bit northwest of where I live, that had 10 inches of rain yesterday.
Yeah, I saw some places just got, a summer's worth of rain in the afternoon.
So I guess Amanita section vaginata. I think somebody came on and said that's what I'd call this because there's a better name for this. The better name is Amanita subsection penetratrices, and this might be penetratrix, but my understanding is that pseudo-penetratrix and penetratrix are pretty hard to tell apart. So it used to be series penetratrices, but now it's been, I guess, there's more of a standardized taxonomy on MO now where they're calling a lot of things subsections. And so this is typical section vaginatae spores, though, these great big globose things. A lot of the vaginatae have spores that look like this with contents, all kind of weird contents. But this thing is really big and it's really deeply rooted. And the umbo in the middle of the cap is the function of it is that it helps this mushroom push up from deep underground, push rocks and things out of the way. And it's the very last photo, which I took at home after the cap expanded on my way home, shows the umbo very well. There you go. You can see that dark umbo right in the middle. And that umbo is really hard. So these are not typical sort of grisettes, that you think of as populating section vaginatae, but this is a species in section vaginatae. Preserved, I preserved the bolete also. That was preserved. So these guys were not from the Forest Saturday. This was from Ricketts Glen. the day before. I think Friday. I think I was there. What else? What do we have next?
Chicken of the woods.
Oh yeah. So okay, so what's the big deal here? Well, this thing was growing on a cherry stump, and it doesn't look like typical Leucoagaricus. I thought this thing was Maripilus sumstinii when my friends first emailed me the photo, but then they emailed me this photo, and I'm thinking that really doesn't look like Maripilus. That looks like Leucoagaricus. So I visited them. I went over their house and I got a sample and I tried it out. Unfortunately, it was too old to get a good spore drop. But I did find a spore. There it is. And that looks like a Leucoagaricus spore. It's got the apiculus. I estimated the dimensions as 7x4, and that's kind of in the ballpark with Leucoagaricus. But what I'm wondering is there some other species of Leucoagaricus that's showing up? We have a member in our club. Her name is Allison. She's a pretty good identifier, and she had a pale Leucoagaricus growing on her property that she identified as cincinnatus because that's what seemed to make sense. And but I had a little discussion with her, and she told me that one was growing on a cherry stump. So is there some other kind of Leucoagaricus that's showing up? Well, I did dry out a sample of this thing. So,
How many Leucoagaricus do we already know? I know there's at least 3 of them out there, right?
yeah, well, there's a Sulfurius, cincinnatus, and Huroniensis. Huroniensis is a little bit more of a northern species that grows on conifer wood. And then there's this thing Gilbertsonii or something and then there's Persicina also. I think those are southern species, or Gilbertsonii. That's like a southwestern species, I believe. Like New Mexico or Arizona or California or something like that. So
Well, there is that Gilbertsonia variation pallidus. Is that one more
Oh.
fair?
Oh,
Just looking
okay.
at
I don't know that one.
polypores of North. Yeah,
What's that? Oh, is that in the Bissett book?
it is.
Oh, well, I'll get the
Polypores of-
Bissett book out here as soon as
Okay.
we're done. Oh, great. I'm going to check that out.
Because we did find Leucoagaricus cincinnatus, at least I identified it as cincinnatus also. But it was very, very young. It hadn't even opened, so the fact that it was pale to me didn't really mean anything to me. I just assumed it was that.
Well,
There is more.
Cincinnatus is presumed to occur only on oak, and usually on the ground near an oak. So it grows usually from the roots, and it makes these rosettes, almost sort of looking almost a little bit like Berkeley's polypore, but not with like smooth upper surfaces, more wrinkly, and with more pigment. Berkeley's just is that they just have that sort of dull beige color overall. I mean, Berkeley's actually looks a little like this,
Yes.
but color wise, but not other than color, really, Berkeley's looks different.
Well, that Gilbertsonia variation pallidus also says mostly just oak. They don't expect anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, the what'd you say, cherry?
Cherry. Yeah, this was a big cherry stump
Yeah, I
in
think
their
that
yard. So they know what it is. They know what this stump
that's the most interesting thing about this. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the other one in Allison's yard, she said was on cherry. So kind of a very interesting thing going on here.
Yeah, because I looked at Huronensis, and that's
that grows on conifer, and it looks like Sulfurius. You can hardly tell the difference between those two. I found Huroniensis in the Catskills.
We found it last year at the Como foray. I have an observation of this on MO recently posted. It's actually called Huroniensis, not Huronensis.
Yeah, Huroniensis. Maybe I said it wrongly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's named after Lake Huron.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, or the Huron Native American tribe. One of the other.
Oh yeah. Okay. Huroniensis, though, right?
Huroniensis.
Yeah, it's the Neoboletus huronensis that's named after the Lake Huron.
Gotcha.
Back to Amanitas. Banningiana.
Okay, so Banningiana. So a few years ago, I shared a Banningiana, and I made a misstatement. I got my people whose last names are Banning mixed up in my mind, and instead of mentioning that this was named by Rod-Tullas, it's a provisional name named by Rod-Tullas after the underappreciated 19th century mycologist Mary Elizabeth Banning.
Nice.
I think I said at the time that it was named after Richard Banning, and like Dorothy was like quite dismayed with.
And so was I.
You were probably there too. Okay, so Richard Banning was this guy who was tech support at a college where I worked part-time for one semester, and I just got the names mixed up. But I know now that this is named for Mary Banning.
Of which there is a beautiful exhibit of paintings at the New York State Museum.
Right.
Are you sure this is what you want to call this?
Absolutely. I'm absolutely
Okay.
certain.
It looks a little more robust than what I remember.
That's
Banning
because
the
this is a young one. There was another one growing right next to it that was fully expanded, and the stem was very thin, and it was very tall. And this one was just barely beyond the button stage. That's why it's kind of stout. I ate it. These are a good edible. Like most of the colorful Caesars. So this is in section Caesariae.
You're so lucky to find that. I never get to find Caesars, rarely.
Yeah, we have Jacksonii around here too, but that's more of a northern species.
Actually, it's in the south too, except that it bypasses New Jersey completely.
Well, those things in the south, Rob thinks that they might be something else. He's got like some names like Arkansoniana or something, and there's a few.
Arkansana looks more like Banningiana.
It's more like Banningiana. Okay.
Yeah, it's not red. It's orange or bronze orange or something like that. Yeah, but if you look on MO observations, these red Caesars, Jacksonii, a lot of them are in the south, but we have none in New Jersey. I've never found.
Okay. I don't find them around here very often. I have one spot for Jacksonii in Ricketts Glen. They come up in the same spot almost every year. But I find more of these. These are fairly common in oak woods. I'm always oak woods.
Would this be in Stirp's hemibatha or whatever?
I'm not sure. Probably because it's got a lot of pigment. Okay. I'm not sure though.
Amanita hemibatha was another Caesar lookalike that I think Pomerleau, Rene Pomerleau tried to sort these things out years ago. So I'm not sure. What do they have on Michael Quebec? That would be a place to look.
Will do.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's some of these. Oh, that's an old name, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It was an old name from.
So that could be on Michael Quebec then.
Yeah, well, Amanita caesarea is a European species.
Yeah, it does grow here.
It doesn't grow here, but years ago they always put European names, and then then it should be hemibatha, and then what do they call it? Jacksonii was for his friend who was painted the mushrooms for him for his book.
Oh.
And yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wondered who that Jackson was. Okay, it was a
it's Mr. Jackson's Mushrooms. It's a book that's been out, I don't know how many years, but it's a lot of the watercolor paintings that I can't remember his first name. Jackson painted for Pomerleau, Rene Pomerleau.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So
Very.
that's Amanita banningiana. So here's a Dermocybe. So these Cortinarius that people like Susan enjoy finding because you can use them to make dyes. Although this one, I guess, is not as popular as the semi-sanguineous types because there's several species of those now. Probably because they don't grow in very large quantities. You know, I mean, this is
None
like
of
a
them
big.
do. What do you
What's that?
call this one?
I don't know because the spores are too big for any of the typical names like Harrisonii or sanguineus. Then there's another name also. I think I might have put these names in the notes, but the spores are big. The spores are almost 10 microns long, and these other things are supposedly, most of the spores are 8 microns or smaller, with the occasional 8.5 is what you find when you read. Yeah, so the spores are too big for either. Yeah, the other one is, oh God, how do you say
Yeah,
that?
what is that? I never
Yeah.
saw that one before.
that one.
Temiscaminogenous.
Yeah, so that one's on Mycoquebec. Sanguineus is on Mycoquebec. I think Mushroom Expert might have Harrisonii.
Yeah.
But the spores are too large for any of the. Now this was in oak woods, but there were a few pines here and there.
Now,
So
what does the spores verrucose mean?
kind of wrinkled or ornamented.
Wrinkled?
Yeah.
I can't say I see that.
No, but that's because you have to view them through my better scope, where I
Okay.
don't get these photos are simply to be able to get estimates on dimensions and shape. Yeah, you don't see ornamentation in these photos. And yeah, thanks for asking though. That should be pointed out.
And
Pretty cool though. These are
Temiscaming, that's Quebec, right? Isn't that a
Temiscaminogenous.
What's that? I'm sorry, what was the question?
Temiscaming?
This the
Temiscaming.
T thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's on Mycoquebec. Yeah, but that has even smaller spores, I believe.
Yeah, but that's
Really.
a Temiscaming. Temiscaming is a
Oh.
place in Quebec.
Oh, I see.
So
I see.
it's named for Temiscaming Quebecois.
I get it. Okay.
Rolling off our tongues.
Not rolling off my tongue yet.
Well, once you know it's a town, it makes it a little easier.
It makes it a little easier, yeah.
They got good
Okay.
hockey. They got good hockey teams in Temiscaming.
So what's so great about Tylopilus prunulus, the so-called sweetbread mushroom, which is, considered to be a good edible as long as you're certain of your identification? Well, these things are thought to be a species complex, and I can see where that's just very likely the case. Usually I find these things in under conifers, but these were found in oak woods. No conifers present at all. And this time you can actually see the ornamentation on the spores. I got to stop on this one.
This one?
Maybe the next one. Right here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you can see the
Ribbing.
longitudinal ridges on the spores. So I just got lucky. I tricked the camera by mistake into taking a photo that showed something interesting about these spores other than shape and size. You can actually see longitudinal ridges, and that is a Tylopilus trait of the spores. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I included this one in these extra observations. And also, these are probably a species complex. So
It certainly is. A few years ago, I spent a good portion of the day reading a paper and building a tree, and having sequences in there. And oh boy, yeah, I don't think there are any true Prunulus in North America. We have our own species.
yeah, did I name it group or something?
Yeah, I
No.
usually call it
No.
I usually call it Cotopolus, section Cotopolus. That's
Yeah, I'm
what I call it.
gonna go on here and propose something more general than this
Yeah.
because I think maybe INAT didn't let me. They might just accept the Cotopilus prunulis period. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, INET is not very flexible with naming, unfortunately.
No, they aren't. And on INAT, there's no like maybe it's this and maybe it's this. On INAT, it's this or it isn't this, which is great for birds, but for mushrooms, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's why I put up so many names on INAT as just fungi or basidiomycetes or something like
Yeah.
that, because I'm not going to call it this thing, but on MO I can call it that thing with low confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can put something on MO and say, this could be such and such, and I'm not really all that strongly opinionated in that respect. But on INAT, you say that your only option is to say it's this, or what you're saying, Brandon.
And then people are less likely to give their opinion on it, less likely to disagree with you, or I think it might be this probably more.
That's why you get better discussions generated on MO. In my opinion, Plus, you have Igor on MO, and Igor generates some of the most interesting discussions available online. And
I always stir up a pot. Yeah.
So this photo does not do justice to the really striking purple color of this thing. This Zollingerii thing. What's the genus? I get these CL
Clavaria.
things. Oh, the Clavaria. Okay. The spores, it's not a great spore photo, but you can see the shape and the size well enough to know that it conforms to the expectation for this species. So it's just a cool thing to find. One of the other members on our foray last Saturday brought this in. So
We found a purple pearl too.
Yeah,
From
it's just a
Meadowwoods.
cool thing to find. So
nice.
shared it.
I've never found one. I go to the places that they grow, and they're not super common, right?
Yeah,
I don't think so. No.
Dorothy says it's rare if to get that particular one.
So Igor's got a post of this also on MO. This next thing. This
Correct. I'm duplicating some of our finds. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It's no problem.
But
We
I
can
always
link
refer
them
to your
together.
observations, so people have a good idea that the same.
Yeah, I'm going to come on mine when I see all yours. Finally, I'll link mine to yours also. So subcocherae or cocherae, they're very similar. Is there an actual difference? Rod thinks there is, and I think Rod points out a slight difference in spore size. And Rod also says that this subcocherae thing is the one that smells like cedar wood. Also, according to Rod, the range of cocherae peters out right around when you go south into Pennsylvania, in like extreme southern Pennsylvania, you might find cocherae. But once you get much further north, it's probably going to be subcocherae. Now, once again, this is one of the things like Igor and I were commenting on before, that we can't really go on Rod's website now and review some of these details, that he uses to assert differences, like this proposed subtle difference between cocherae and subcocherae.
Now, Igor, I think we said on last foray that we found this also at Meadowwood.
Yeah, but both of them allegedly. We put both names. I put both names. One important feature of subcocherae is that it does have plenty of reddish brown staining on these massive recurving scales that you see in the bulb, and cocherae apparently doesn't have that.
Oh, that's one of the things. Okay, you know what? When I got this thing home, it was more stained. There was staining on the cap and gills also.
Yeah. So, right. I forgot about the range of cocci. I presume that it was just as ubiquitous. I mean, typically we find subcocci in the pine barrens, but I think we also found this outside of the pine barrens habitat, like meadowwoods. I smelled some of those fruiting bodies on Sunday, and they smell like, cedar chest to me, or burnt sugar, or something like that.
Yeah, cedar wood is what I get. And this was not found at the foray in the Poconos. This was found west of the Susquehanna River near a town called Jonestown. It's out in the woods. And the guy who found this and brought it, Jim Hancock, he sent me an email this morning. He says there's still a whole bunch of them on his property in oak woods with some pines mixed in. So he actually collected a few more. He said he's going to dehydrate some for me, and he's also collected some spores on a microscope slide. I couldn't get any spores out of this. By the time I got this home, it was getting soft and not looking very good. So I just put the cap right into the dryer, and hopefully it's probably not in the greatest condition, but maybe I can get some more from Jim.
Yeah, and another feature, sorry to interrupt, another feature of subcocci, I never forget if cocci is the same way, that subcocci has a double ring.
I think they both do.
Oh, they both do, yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, once again, that's the kind of thing I would just go on amanitaceae.org and
yeah.
check
I just
it
go
out.
by the smell and the red staining, for
Yeah, the
subcocci.
smell and where it's found. I mean, supposedly we don't have cocci up here in Northeast PA. So anyway,
It's a northern species, you're saying, right?
that's what Rod said. Yeah, that and the ranges overlap though, like in southern PA is, I believe, what it's used to say on the website. So okay, so one day of last week I was putting some stuff out at the end of our sidewalk that ends on our gravel driveway, and then there were these things were there on the lawn. And at first I thought, wow, those are strange looking Conocybe, but they're not Conocybe, they're Parasola. And I think these are Parasola pliculatus. And based on, I mean, Parasola pliculatus looks like this, but there are some other Parasolas that kind of look the same as Parasola pliculatus. But I got some spores to fall out of a couple of these things. And I also managed to preserve some of this because these are ink caps and they don't last very long. So look at these spores. They look like guitar picks. That's a pretty unique shape. Yeah. And this is what Parasola pliculatus spores are supposed to look like. So, and the estimates on length cross width that I got from this photo can fit pretty nicely into the range of Parasola pliculatus. So I'm pretty sure that's what they are. But I preserved some. I mean, this was an interesting find, so I preserved some. Also, Parasola pliculatus is said to grow in open grassy areas. So you can see that's what this is.
Guys, I gotta sign off. I gotta go to bed. Gotta get up early. Nice
The
talking
last
to you.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, good
Okay,
night, Susan.
Susan. Yep.
Right,
See
Susan.
you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Susan.
And yet another something in the Inocybe. This was at Ricketts Glen. I didn't get great photos. This photo's not too bad, but look at the way this cap is all split apart. And that's the kind of thing that used to be a character that supposedly told you that you were looking at a true Inocybe. But this one I don't think is a true Inocybe. I couldn't find any pleurocystidia. The spores are bean-shaped, ellipsoid to bean-shaped. And but now when we're looking at the gill, look at this basidium. I guess there must have been another spore got tangled in with the other four, because I don't think there's any such thing as a basidium that has 5 sterigmata on it. So it looks like there's 5 spores there. So I think this one spore that's second from the right is one that just drifted in, and got stuck to the other ones. Or maybe the one that's second from the left. But anyway, here you go, Calystosporium. The walls are not particularly thick, and they grow, and they're in bunches. And this is the gill edge. How do I know this is the gill edge? Well, I'm actually kind of cheating here. I just smash mounted some gill, and I got it under the scope, and then I go along the perimeter. And so only one edge of the perimeter of the gill had these guys all over it. And they're big bunches of them. So they call this a palisade. It's a palisade of cystidia. And these are not particularly thick walled. These are Calystosporium. There's no ornamentation on them. They're just basically clavate, club shaped. There's a whole, and they're in big bunches. So no, when I looked at the rest of the gill smash mount, I couldn't find anything. No other cystidia, nothing that looked like metuloids. So this one's not a true Inocybe. What genus is this one in? I'm not sure. I think it's either pseudosperma or inosperma. And it did have a little bit of the weird odor that some of these things have. So that might be useful. I didn't write that down here. But it did have a little bit of the weird odor.
Weird.
Corn or whatever.
Yeah, what kind of weird? Like chlorine, like chemical?
Well, in a lot of the descriptions, the odor of Inocybe is
Spermatic?
often described as spermatic.
Yeah.
So I don't know who came up with that.
I prefer a different way of describing that, but
Yeah, that green corn is sort of like a little bit more polite, I guess. But but that's not a true Inocybe, even though it's a fiber head, right? It's got that cap that looks like it's radially splitting into fibers. So
Rimos,
yes. So interesting. In fact, Rimos, what's the Rimosoides? I think that one might be Inosperma. Okay, so maybe I need to look at that and see if this microscopy fits in with that one. But a lot of these ones that are not true Inocybe's have these Calystosporium that look like that, and there's a whole bunch of them.
Okay, well, thank you, Dave.
Sure, no problem. It's there's so many cool things out there. It's fun to share this stuff. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
everyone
the
for
end
being
of-
here and throwing in their opinions. It's always, especially when there's a bunch of stuff out there, it's always fun to come here, hear everyone's opinions, see what you guys have.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Oh no.
Yeah,
May
you're
join
welcome,
us.
Sue. Thank you.
Okay.
Wait, one more share, please. Just
One more share? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
in
in
the chat?
Hawaii.
Did I miss you?
Bianca,
you
when
didn't
did you get here?
I got here. Well, right now it's 3 p.m. where I am.
Oh,
So-
you said you're in Hawaii?
I'm in Hawaii and I wanted to join you guys, and I found, I think it's something similar to I forget the name.
Cinnabarinus, Cantharellus.
That sounds right. So hold on.
Hey,
You got
Sue.
chanterelle in Hawaii.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Oh, no, that's the shelf mushroom, the dyer.
The dyer, yes.
Yes.
I forget what it's called.
Cinnabarinus.
Trimides.
Cinnabarinus.
Cinnabarinus.
Yeah, but there's
There you
also
go.
Trimides,
Sanguineus.
Sanguineus, but then you squeeze it and you get some red on your hand.
Cinnabarina. It's a she.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it kind of looks like it's staining my fingers. So
I thought this
Thank you.
was not a dying polypore, but for
Paper making. Sorry, paper making.
Yeah.
Paper making.
Yeah, I think Susan has explained already that, that this doesn't do anything for a dyer.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
what
dud.
it's good at is I just got involved with this conversation with someone else. They're trying to make composite materials out of mycelium, and I shared an anecdote that one, while it's good at paper making, they made some company made maritime buoys out of them, the mycelium.
Yeah. Go Veda.
Wow.
Right?
A floating mycelium in the sea.
Yeah. And it was orange, which is a perfect, state of the
Oh
night.
boy.
Was it eaten by the fish? Like